Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I am Mike, and this is a spoiler-free review for Strange Darling, which is a movie that's out right now. It's definitely the horror movie of the two horror movies to come out this week, although it's more of a thriller to watch. Watch this instead of Afraid from Blumhouse. Trust me, more on that later. Or already up. I don't know. There will be a review on both. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Go see this movie. I didn't even see a trailer for it, which is the best way to go about it. I don't recommend watching a trailer for it. Just trust me. And based on word of mouth of people talking about it, I went and saw it and absolutely love this movie. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year. It stars Kyle Gallner, who you remember from, well, some of you remember from A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Maybe don't think about that as much as you do some recent movies like Dinner in America was so good. Kyle Gallner is putting together a crazy good film resume. There's some fun stuff in there, specifically horror stuff, little spot in Scream 5 as well. But I'm really enjoying Kyle Gallner as an actor. I think he's really good, and this is right up there with his performance in Dinner of America, which again, it was kind of an indie movie, but sort of a punk, like just sort of fucked up indie movie, and I absolutely loved it. Definitely recommend that one as well. But apart from that, it's really, for the most part, the movie's a two-hander. There's other characters in it, but for most of the running time, it's a two-hander between him and Willa Fitzgerald, who I owe an extremely huge apology to, because all I really knew about her was her work on the Scream, the TV series. She's the main person in the Scream TV series, and you guys know my feelings on the Scream TV series, but it really wasn't, and I said this multiple times in my reviews, I was ranting and raving about it, but it really wasn't her and her performance there. I even said it then. It's the character. That character was just awful, and I won't even get into why. I made a whole rant video based on why, but I did not know. I had no idea she could act like this. And this is just a testament to how great she is in this, man. I'm telling you, Oscar performance. That's how good a performance in this was. She absolutely blew me away. And I won't even tell you exactly what the movie's about, because that sort of ruins the fun. Some of the fun in this movie is just going, what is this about, and figuring it out as you go along. But to be safe, I'll literally read you the IMDb synopsis, okay? Which is, nothing is what it seems when a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. So you know it involves a serial killer, a one-night stand, and is mostly a two-hander between these two, and that's really, really all you need to know, except for it's the genre of this movie. It leans more towards thriller than it does horror, for sure, but there's absolute horror moments in this movie. I'd say this is for fans of dark, twisted thrillers, specifically with sort of a punkish edge to it. It's like if Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind had sex with unlawful entry, but also banged Gerald's game earlier in the day, and then maybe went down on Wolf Creek, but like in a fun way. And yeah, that makes zero sense, and it shouldn't make zero sense to you. I don't even know if that's correct, but that's just where my brain went with this movie. It's not particularly like any of those movies. Reminds me of a movie called Tape by Richard Linklater. You can't even find it to rent it now, but it was an Ethan Hawke movie back in the day where most of it just takes place with these two characters in this hotel room, and as the story unravels. I didn't know this till after I watched it. Giovanni Ribisi, the actor, it's his first movie as a cinematographer, and it's just beautiful, man. The blue lighting in there, and being absolutely literal, it kind of reminds me of a movie called Blue Valentine with Ryan Gosling. It has that art house independent movie vibe to it, but with the sheen that this thing is completely entertaining. And it's a non-linear, I said that word right finally. I usually say linear. I was born in West Virginia. It's fine, but it's in a good way. Because normally when movies do that, it's frustrating. And you're like, oh, I was just getting into that. Now we're here and all this stuff. This movie is so entertaining, and it grabs your mind so much. And they get to it so fast when they jump around that they jump into the story so quickly that it's not annoying when they do that. And then when they jump back into the story, you sit up in your seat and you get excited. You're like, oh, back to this. What's going on here? And the dialogue it's not exactly, again, it's original. So I'm comparing it to all these things, and that's not fair. But the dialogue is a little bit like a Tarantino or a Kevin Smith movie, where it's not like either of those, but it has that, if you know, you know what I mean? It has that sense to it. Oh my God, I just realized that I have grilled chicken in the oven, and it's been in there for like an hour. I just smelled it, and I see smoke, and I'll be right back. It's not even burnt, motherfucker. How about that shit? It's my lucky day. Ah! What were we talking about? But you know, it has kind of that cool kid dialogue to it in a way, but it's also more subdued and a little darker, like a Donnie Darko kind of thing. And there's another comparison. I'm going to stop doing that now. I swear to fuck. And it's explained as an erotic thriller, and that makes sense. I mean, it's a sexy ass movie for people who love to party. And that's right there, that's my Rotten Tomatoes blurb for Strange Darling. It's a sexy ass movie for people who love to party. I sound like the dude from Cabin Fever. Hey man, I heard you guys were partying over here, man. Let's party. All right, party. But the writing in this is sharp as a tack, man. Everything in this movie is just tight, and it's written so well, and it's so fascinating. The pacing is top notch, and I feel like it's such a cool kind of movie that it also has a rewatchability to it, even after you know how things turn out. But the literal only thing I would take away from this movie is maybe just one of the very last ending scenes. And the plot and everything ends in a way that I dug, for sure. There's just a little bit of a croissant moment that happens with the very ending when the credits are getting ready to roll. That kind of reminds me a little bit of In a Violent Nature in that ending. Definitely not nearly as frustrating as that was, but I got those vibes from it, and that turned me off a little bit. But that's my singular only gripe with this movie. I absolutely loved it. It's an original movie. If you wanted to see original movies, and if you're a fan of like 90s, like kind of naughty thrillers and shit like that as well, but with like, again, this sheen of like just cool ass independent movie over top of it that never really, for the most part, gets too croissant. It's all the good parts of an independent, really well scripted movie with great leads, and they also throw in some pretty good action chase scene type of stuff in there. So it's a wonderful mix of a fucking movie. I dug the shit out of it. I really think that you will too. Don't let it get spoiled for yourself. Watch it fresh. Yeah, it's a 9 out of 10 for me. So yes, go see Strange Darling. I don't know how else to say it. Go see Strange Darling. You get your fucking ass to the theater and you go, John. You go. And I'll meet you there. And then afterwards we'll drink beers and do stuff to each other. What the fuck am I talking about? I love your all's faces. Happy College Football Saturday. Happy Strange Darling weekend. Happy day to your dick. Halloween never ends. Suck my fucking dick. And I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not. Yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating. Let's go fucking drinking. Let's all go in Pumpkinhead on VHS.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit.